Hi guys, how you doing today? I hope you're staying safe and keeping well. I got another request for a shade of look to do, so I'm going to do that for you guys today. It's going to be gray. This is going to be not a cool gray though, so it might be a little disappointing to the person that requested it, but it's going to be a little bit of a warm gray and a very wearable daytime gray. I'm not going to take it too much into a smoky look, making it really dark and bold. Just gonna keep it kind of light and refreshing. I've already washed my face and added my moisturizer. So first I'm gonna start with my primer using the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Complexion Primer. Just one squirt, which is usually enough to get all over my face. Next, I'm gonna add foundation. I'm going to use the It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Oil-Free Matte. And I'm gonna use a brush today to apply. I often use a sponge, but a sponge is a little bit of lighter coverage, and then a brush would be the thicker coverage, and then if you use your fingers, that would be the thickest coverage. So I'm going to use a brush for some heavier coverage. I have two that I usually use, being the It Cosmetics, Heavenly Luxe Flat Tip Buffing Foundation Brush, or the Sigma F80 Flat Kabuki Brush. They're both flat kabuki style. I like to use the It Cosmetics a little bit more because it's a little bit fluffier and thicker, so I feel that it doesn't leave as many brush streaks as it's coating the face. I'm going to stipple this one into my skin, which is just small little dotting around, especially on the flat areas like the forehead and maybe the cheeks, especially to get here into the pores and the nose. Then drag it down the neck a little bit just so it blends better. Next, I'm going to apply the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I'm going to use the Suva 180 brush for this one. I like using this one for concealer because it's a little bit more tapered and it's still pretty thick, and you can get it into the small crevices such as under the eyes and beside the nose as well. Next, I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Genius Powder to set everything in place. For under the eyes, I'm going to use my moistened sponge that helps prevent creasing. To apply the powder, I usually use one of two brushes, either the F18 from ColourPop, a really big fluffy brush, or the Urban Decay Optical Blurring Brush, which is this one, a lot thinner. So when I'm in a rush and going fast, I'll often use this one just because it picks up a lot of powder and can disperse it very quickly. I do like to use this one as it is the complexion perfection to do it on specific spots and then just buff it in. For today, I'm going to use the ColourPop F18. I'm going to use the Cocoa Contour from Too Faced to do a little contouring. For that one, I use the brush that came with it. It's a flat little brush. Very dirty. I haven't washed it in a while. I like using the flat brush to apply the contour because you can put it exactly where you want it to go. Then I'm going to use the medium cocoa to apply some to the nose, using the same brush. For blush, I'm going to use the Marc Jacobs Lines on Last Night, very peach shade. And I'm going to use the ColourPop F21 brush. For blush, I always like to use a fluffy angled brush. I don't want it to be too fluffy though, like the powder blush, because then it's going to get, the powder brush, because then it's going to get all over the cheeks where you don't want it to go. So I like these a little bit thinner, so you can put it exactly where you want it to go. I also often will use the Sigma F40 brush as well. As you can see, they look pretty much identical. The Sigma brushes tend to be a little bit more on the pricier side, so I really do like these ColourPop cosmetic brushes. It was a whole set that had a bunch of brushes, and it's still on the website. It was under $40, and they're really good quality brushes. I'm going to apply it on the cheek and then raise up into the hairline. You know, imagine I tried to use this one to do that. Woo! That would be a lot of blush. Moving on to the eyes. First, I'm going to start with the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in Original. I'm going to use the Tartelette Amazonian Clay Palette. And I'm going to use the color Super Mom to try to keep this a little bit cooler. Usually I use Free Spirit, which is a little bit of a warmer tone, but this one will hopefully keep it a little cooler. And I'm going to use the Suva 420 brush, which is just a little domed fluffy brush that I like to use because I'm not doing detail work. I'm really just getting it on the top half of the lid. If I want to do something more detailed, you'll see I use some smaller, more dense flat brushes. I sometimes will often use the E17 from ColourPop. They are very similar. The ColourPop came as part of the set, and I bought the Suva Beauty separate by itself. But either one, they can be interchangeable. Sometimes when they're clean, I'll use one for one color and the other one for a different color, but no difference as to which one I grab first. For the eyeshadow today, I'm going to use Urban Decay. This one is Mushroom. The description on the website calls it pale warm gray. I'm going to apply this one with the Stila 15 brush on the flat end. This one is denser so that you can pick up more color and deposit it exactly on the eye where you want it to go. This one's two-sided. This one here can also be used more for under eye and also to pack more color onto the eyelid if needed. And I always tap it off a little bit before I put it on just so that, to prevent from getting too much fallout underneath the eye. Next, I'm going to use the color Buck from Urban Decay. This is a brown shade. I'm going to use this as a transition in the crease. I'm going to be applying that one with the E17 from ColourPop that we already discussed. I'm using this one this time because I used the other one last time. That's all. I'm following the shape of the crease, but I'm going a little bit above the crease. And then into the corner, and then you just do a little bit swirl down into the corner. A good spot where you want to take the eyeshadow is if you put your brush at your nose and line it up with the end of your eyebrow. That's kind of where you want the shadow to stop, right over there. Then I'm going to take the Sigma E25 blending brush. It's similar to the flat shading brush, but it's a little bit bushier. I like to use this one to blend the two colors on the eyelids just to make sure that there's no harsh lines. Next, I'm going to use the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in Oozy. I don't think they make this one anymore. I'll have to check the website to see if there's a similar replacement. It's just like a gunmetal gray type of color. And I'm going to line the upper eyelids right at the lash line, thinner towards the inner corner of the eye and thicker towards the outer edge. I'm going to use the same color to line the bottom of the eyes. I didn't put this one in the waterline. I just lightly shaded. I didn't even press very hard either. Next, I'm going to take the Urban Decay color Mushroom, and I'm going to smudge it along the lower lash line. I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury smudge brush to do that. I like this one for smudging because it is super tiny and really dense. I mentioned earlier you can also use this side of the Stila 15. This one's not as dense though, so if I wanted to do a deeper smudge or to feather it out a little bit, then I would go back in with this one. But I do want to put this one right in at the lash line. Then I'm going to take the Urban Decay 24/7 eye pencil in 0, which is just really black, and line the waterline with the black color. Let's do some brows. Brush this down with the spoolie. I'm going to take the Benefit Cosmetics Precisely My Brow in 4.5 and line right at the eyebrow root. And then fill in with downward strokes. Trying to be quick so I can finish before my baby girl gets up, but then I'm forgetting some steps. So I forgot to add some highlighter. I'm going to add the Laura Mercier Mood Lights Face Illuminator in Flirtation, which is a really light color here. I like to use the IT Cosmetics highlight brush. It's a really good shape for highlighting. I got this brush from Sephora. It was, I don't remember what they call it, but they were trying to pair products with brushes. So it has a very similar shape, but this one is fluffier, and I don't like that because you can't get it exactly where you have to go. And this one is more dense, so I like that better too. I'm going to use the Too Faced Damn Girl mascara to get the mascara on. And then adding the next coat with the Benefit Cosmetics They Are Real mascara. Since the eyes are a little bit darker than I was expecting, I'm going to do a pre-nude lip. So I'm going to use the GUA Cosmetics Dulce de Leche. And that completes the look. I hope you like it. If you do, please click like. If you're not already following me on Instagram, please follow me. And also you can check out my channel, Makeup by Christine, on YouTube. All the links to products will be on that webpage. Thank you so much. Stay safe, guys. Bye.